At PAX 2015 with Skaidris Gunsmith, proprietor, developer of Suddenly Drunk, the drinking card game.
Yeah, it's sort of like it turns anything into a drinking game. That's a problem I've had, is like trying to describe it specifically. Because it's not a card game. It's not a drinking card game. It's a set of cards that turn things into a drinking game.
So it's not a standalone game, it's sort of like an addition or a mod to everyday life, really.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly that. It's like you just add it to anything else. Anything that you've had fun with, or especially has been like a sort of a party game. As long as it's turn-based, you can add it to it and it just makes it a drinking game.
Have you found certain combinations that work better than others?
Yeah. Most things that are like fast, Cards Against Humanity was one of the big ones that it was kind of, we half sort of developed it because as much as we all love Cards Against Humanity and everyone has it, everyone kind of got a little bit bored of it for a while. And so it adds a new kind of element to it when you're putting on funny voices and reading cards in voices, and it means that people play cards towards the voice that you're speaking in and stuff, and just like the rules just happen to mesh really well with like really fast games, so you're all like kind of trying to pull each other up on different rules and stuff.
Now you're obviously part of the dynamic duo behind Beta Bar.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's a very important day for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's our first birthday today because we launched at PAX last year. We opened over the weekend. We had a 3 day launch weekend, mass after, every night was an after party for PAX. And then now that it's PAX, it's really, we're really happy actually to have to be that anniversary on PAX as well, because PAX is just a celebration for us anyway. So it's really good to share that with PAX.
Is anything exciting planned Beta Bar wise over the weekend? Are you cracking out Suddenly Drunk?
Suddenly Drunk, it's almost always there anyway. You know what? Just more prizes, more cake, but if anything, the thing that's going to make it better this weekend than anything is the fact that everyone will just be there from PAX and have that same PAX hype. The PAX hype is the thing, once it's gone, after that weekend, it's you feel so down and out, and you can't wait for it to happen next year. But it's a good way to carry it into the night. Once it's over, or you're done with it at least, go out, everyone will be there, and it's just it just keeps it up.
How do you back it up from going out Friday night, coming back here first thing Saturday?
I ordered a couch, so when we got the booth I spent a couple $100 to make sure we had a couch here, which is largely for tomorrow, because after our birthday I'm just going to be sleeping in that in the morning. That's no joke, that's literally why we have a couch. But yeah, I'm lucky in the sense that my business is all around fun things like games and drinking, but it also means I need to prepare for the eventual hangovers that are going to come.
To create your own card game, you obviously had to go through a lot of editions, or at least a lot of revisions. What were some of the main things you learned that you weren't expecting going into it?
Well, with something like this, where you need to come up with rules that will work with any game, there are a lot of the games change. Just having different turn-based games are all completely different. Sometimes I wanted to have things if you fail this, you skip your next turn. But a lot of games, that's a good thing. With Jenga, if they're you skip a turn, that's a good thing. So I had to think of things that would counter for that. So where skipping turn is beneficial, take 2 turns. But once that language was kind of after the main course that came out, once that language was established, I've since then been able to churn out sort of cards and stuff and how it works, and that just learning that language was the first thing I think really that was interesting.
And obviously you've got the main edition. I'm seeing the sexy expansion. What else is on the plot for the future?
Well, we've got the sexy expansion, we've got the hardcore expansion, which they're all elements of your classic drinking game in general is usually one of a few things. It's usually, sexy in the sense of we'll strip poker or whatever, we'll drink and strip. And then the other one is and then we'll do shots, and then another thing is we'll do gross things. So what I've done is I've taken all those elements. So the base one is just you just take a sip every now and then. The hardcore one, all of a sudden you're doing shots, and so you're doubling things, and it gets really messy. But the sexy one is you'll be removing items of clothing. But the next one's coming out is the vile expansion. The idea of that is doing just gross things. And then once they're all out, the idea is that you can pick and choose your favorite cards and make your perfect drinking game deck. So you may have a few key gross ones that you think are like the best for stuff, or a few hardcore ones that you like, or maybe even some strip ones in there, just to make your perfect drinking game. And that's how this generally works. We've deconstructed the drinking game so much that you can just add it to anything, and then you can use like trading card. It's almost like trading cards, where you can get like exclusive cards to like make your specific deck.
Awesome. Well, thank you for giving us a rundown on Suddenly Drunk and the Beta Bar 1-year anniversary. Very exciting. Thanks, Skaidris. All the best. Have a good night. Have a good weekend.